You know, if you've ever typed how to day trade into YouTube, you know exactly what happens next. You just fall. You fall down this rabbit hole of supercars, crazy-looking charts, and of course, the promise of financial freedom. So today, we're going to try and navigate that chaotic world using the channels themselves as our guide to really understand the journey an aspiring trader goes on.
And it almost always starts right here, with an image of just unbelievable success, like this one from Jaden Trades. I mean, look at that, a gleaming Porsche GT2 RS. But then you read the caption, years of sacrifice, pain, and focus. And that's it, right? That's the core tension of this entire world, the insane reward versus the brutal effort. It's this intoxicating mix, and it's the hook that pulls so many people in.
So on one side, you have this incredible promise that's sold in countless videos, right? Financial freedom, be your own boss, make $1,000 a day from your laptop. But on the other side, there's the well-documented reality, huge risk, intense emotional stress, and the pretty sobering fact that most people who try day trading, they lose money. So how do you even begin to get from that dream to a sustainable reality? Well, we're going to map this whole journey out across 5 distinct stages. It all kicks off with the dream, that initial pull of wealth. From there, you fall into the maze, this super confusing search for the right strategy. That leads you to the battle, which is really an internal fight with your own psychology. And then comes the expose, a period of disillusionment where you start to question who's even real. And finally, we'll talk about the compass, the tools you need to find your own way through all this noise. All right, let's start at the very beginning with stage 1, the dream. This is all about that powerful, undeniable allure of the trading lifestyle, exactly how it's packaged and sold on YouTube. And this is where that dream is sold. And man, is it sold hard. You see these titles from channels like Lambo Raoul and Happy Forex, and it's so obvious they're leading with the lifestyle. The message isn't just about trading, it's about what trading can get you. That visual proof of success, the cars, the watches, it's an incredibly powerful magnet. Okay, so you're hooked on the dream, now what? Well, now you're in stage 2, the maze. This is where the aspiring trader faces this monumental task of figuring out, how do I actually do this? Welcome to the absolutely overwhelming world of trading strategies. The first thing you're probably going to run into is a total barrage of jargon. A really popular one is smart money concepts, or SMC. Channels like Fractal Flow go deep on this, and the whole theory is about tracking the moves of big institutional players, the smart money. It sounds professional, it sounds clever, and it's your first step into a much, much larger world. And then you might discover something like the Wyckoff method, a theory that's over 100 years old. You've got channels like Pro Trading School that have entire masterclasses on it. It's dense, it's complex, it's all about these phases of accumulation and distribution. Suddenly, you're not just looking at lines on a chart, you're trying to read the minds of giant market operators. It's a huge leap. And this is how deep the rabbit hole really gets. You go from these broad, understandable concepts to these hyper-niche, almost cryptic-sounding strategies like turtle body soup. Seriously, this slide really represents that point where you're so deep in the maze that the terminology feels like you're learning a completely different language. And all of this confusion leads to the inevitable holy grail search. Just look at these video titles. I mean, come on. Everyone seems to have the one perfect strategy. One is stupidly simple, another one feels illegal, a third is unbeatable. How can they all be the one true answer? This is the very heart of the maze, where so many aspiring traders get stuck, just jumping from one system to the next, hoping to find a magic bullet. Eventually, though, after chasing that perfect strategy and just getting nowhere, the whole journey pivots. And this is stage 3, the battle. The focus shifts from the charts on the screen to the fight that's raging inside your own head. This quote from Stick Trader just captures the essence of this stage perfectly. You finally have this realization that the biggest challenge isn't about finding some secret indicator. It's about mastering your own discipline, your own patience, your own emotional control. The market, it turns out, is just a giant mirror for your own psychological flaws. And hey, here's the proof. In a poll run by Day Trading Addict, they asked traders, what's your biggest challenge? And look at these results. Strategy is the smallest bar by far. The biggest hurdles, confidence and overtrading, both are purely psychological issues. This is a massive, game-changing realization for any trader. So, of course, an entire ecosystem of channels pops up that focuses solely on this inner game. You get channels like Stick Trader, Mind Over Markets, and Whispers of Livermore, and they all teach that your mindset is your strategy. Like GFX says here, it's not about taking more trades, it's about making more quality decisions.
But this deep dive into psychology can lead to a brand new kind of challenge: skepticism. And that brings us to stage 4, the expose. After all the hype, after all the failed strategies, this one critical question starts to bubble up. In this entire ecosystem, who is actually real? You start to notice that for a lot of these creators, the free YouTube content is really just the top of a sales funnel. It's designed to lead you towards a paid course or a mentorship or some private community, which, by the way, can cost thousands of dollars. The education itself becomes the business. And that whole business model, well, it creates a really powerful counter movement. You find channels like Iman Trading, whose entire identity is built on this one defiant promise: to never, ever sell a course. And that draws a very clear line in the sand. And this brings us to the guru busters. Channels like these see it as their mission to expose what they call frauds and to prove that everything you need to succeed is already available online completely for free. They're directly challenging the very premise of paid trading education. So, after this long, winding journey through dreams and jargon and psychology and skepticism, what are we left with? How do you make any sense of this incredibly chaotic space? Well, what you need is a compass. A great way to start is by just understanding the different roles people play. You've got the lifestylers who are selling the dream. You have the strategists who focus on the technical systems. Then there are the psychologists who work on your mindset. And finally, the skeptics who are out there challenging the gurus. Now, most channels are a little bit of a blend, but they usually lean heavily into one of these archetypes. So this means you need to build your own critical framework for how you watch this content. Anytime you watch a video, just ask yourself these 4 questions. Number 1, what's the real pitch here? Number 2, are they transparent about risk and, more importantly, about their losses? 3, what's their business model? And 4, am I actually learning timeless principles, or am I just getting another secret indicator? Because in the end, the entire YouTube trading rabbit hole, with all of its insane twists and turns, it seems to point back to one fundamental truth. After you've consumed all the strategies and all the advice, the real work begins and ends with you, with your discipline, your critical thinking, and your ability to manage your own mind in the face of complete uncertainty.